Wow. Hey, welcome everybody. This is Jerry Lentz talking about Paul Blaisdell. I think it's Blaisdell. And that's who is that? That's Jessica kicking back. In the workshop where the magic is made at Lentzville Studios. I hope you pop on here because remember it's sort of a group effort. If you guys can have anything to offer, it would be wonderful. Just so pop in here and tell us about your experiences with the first time you saw Paul Blaisdell. It's not even time for it to start yet, is it? I don't even know. This is a good image. It's the workshop. Got three bald-headed guys in here. I don't think anybody's watching this. Wow. Well, when someone pops on, I'm just going to say, well, you missed a fantastic show. you know. Hmm. Well, I could tell you, I've been fascinated by Paul for years, and by the way, it is his birthday today. He was born in 1927, so how old would he be? Help from the studio audience? You don't know? He was born in 1927. This is 2014. So you take 7 from 14, that's 7. So he would be 7 years old. No, that's not right. He would be he would be 97 years old. Is that right? No, I have no idea. Why don't you know? You have a math degree. Um, well, I think he'd be like 97. But the thing is he was the same age as my mom and dad, and I can't imagine my dad ever being interested in anything that Paul was doing. And that's just the sad fact. Well, that everybody is different. Um, I think the thing that is that it was just a different time, different places, different things. But he was an artist. He did what he enjoyed. He liked science fiction. Um, well, I could find more information. He was born in Newport, Rhode Island. He was raised in Quincy, Massachusetts. Massachusetts. Sketched and built models since early childhood. Attended the New England School of Art and Design in Boston. And gosh, it would be so embarrassing because I look at the screen. It says 0 viewers. And we're already 27 minutes into the broadcast, and it would be so sad if this is just being recorded and nobody is there. But I mean, I wish there was a way I could show you some scenes from his films and some clips, and I'm sure there is some way, but I am not figuring that out. So I will go over to the control room and see that there is absolutely nothing I can do to make that better. So, mm, it's everything wants to upgrade now. Hmm. Well, let's just see about that. Okay. Yes, let's stop and I don't want to do that. Hey, are you still there? Hey, where did everybody go? Ah, there we are. Well, to me, Paul was a fantastic artist. He did his own thing. Um, he was helped immensely by people like Forrest J. Ackerman, getting him to do some pulp magazine science fiction covers. Uh, his stuff was strange, and I liked it, and I liked that strangeness. He was helped immensely by a man called Bob Burns, which I know you must know who Bob Burns is, and throughout the working prolific short career of Paul, Bob was there with him at all times, rooting him on and cheering him on, and getting his name out as well. Um, I had listened to a man at a MUFON meeting. This is kind of out of it, weird, where he was discussing Hollywood and UFOs. And what was interesting, he was talking about how Earth versus the flying saucers, had help from the government. Like the government, for some reason, or maybe the Air Force or some military, wanted to start training the public to be willingly accepting of uh, the idea that there were aliens visiting Earth. Well, when their film, like, well, actually, this right here, Invasion of the Saucermen, uh, I was told, that was 1957, that the government went to them and actually showed Paul and Bob images of what some of the many aliens that are traveling to Earth look like. And that, I believe that's the first time you actually see the big-headed alien, like in Saucerman. Now, what happened is they did all this stuff. They sculpted it like that. But then right before the event of shooting took place, the producer came and said, oh, no, no, you got to change this. You got to change this. So, like the military or somebody had changed their mind and said, no, we're not going to do that. Completely do it different, and made the producers change it. Now, I don't know if that's true, but the person that was giving the speech seemed credible, you know, as far as you would imagine someone speaking at a MUFON conference could be. And I believed the story. And then I had heard it again on a radio show. It was the old Art Bell show. Someone had called in and talked about it. Um, are we done yet? I think we are. I think we're about over. No, no, that was a quick show. He meant a lot to me when I was growing up. I'd see stuff of his in Famous Monsters of Filmland, and just the still images of these, creatures with these brows and scowls. Actually, you know what? I could totally be one of his creatures. I think. Yeah, you gotta do it like this, or maybe like this. You gotta have something going on, but you gotta definitely have that look. It's like a trademark, isn't it? Um, his stuff was fantastic. Fantastic in the sense of the fantastic. People probably weren't used to seeing anything like that, and then when the films came out, you look at stuff now and you go, okay, that's quaint. It's not CGI. It's really not what we imagined it to be. But at the time, I mean, I can still look at it. We watched it from what was it? What's that movie called? It. What was the movie? It, the Terror from Beyond Space. The pre-Alien movie. And we saw that, and it's like that's stuff that still holds up. I mean, it's a creepy looking mask, it's a creepy looking costume. So his work to me still holds up. To some people, you might go, "Oh, that's just really weird," but I think he's influenced so much in so many people, especially in like the pulp art world, with his designs of aliens and spaceships and things like that. That we've just seen so much of a variation on it. Now I know Rick Baker must be a fan, because there's like several creatures in like the Men in Black movies that kind of look similar, or like a homage to Paul. We had a viewer, and the viewer left because he was completely bored, and that was kind of sad to see that happen. Wow. Oh, now we have another viewer, and that's fantastic. Because what I was saying was, well, I don't want to repeat myself, because if you're just tuning in, you've missed the most incredible broadcast that I can imagine about Paul. It is his birthday today. Keep repeating that. So there's a little birthday surprise for him. Everybody, this is Jessica in the back. She is also an artist. As you can see, some of her art in the background. Um, we're working on masks and silicone, and Paul has been a huge inspiration to me ever since I was a little kid, looking at the magazines like Famous Monsters of Filmland, and well, even the magazines that Paul and Bob put out. I used to have like a Miss Shock. I think it was it was Kathy, but I don't know if it was Miss Shocker or Mrs. Shock. Used to have that little centerfold hanging on my wall with her eye hanging out. Well, Paul was really an important figure when I was growing up. Now, I would only see his stuff in stills, and very rarely, because at the time where I lived, I think we only had two channels on TV, and on Saturdays it would just be like religious broadcasting. So you really you didn't get the $1 million movie, or you didn't get the really good horror films. But if I'd go visit somebody else, there would be a chance to see one of the classic films that they did. Now, the one thing that really inspired me is Paul and Bob Burns doing the thing with the magazine where they would sell you slides of the models and the creatures, and then they started making their own films and selling it through the magazine. If you ever get a chance, I believe Monsterama, the old show with um, Elvira on, if you search it on YouTube, you can find some scenes of the footage that they shot. I don't know if it's like Super 8 or 16 millimeter, but it was really awesome stuff. If anybody's got any questions and they want to jump in, please do. I see we have about 500 viewers. No, anyway. So if you have a question, you ask it. I see you smirking back there. Why are you smirking like that? Like, but anyway, um, doing the thing on their own, the do-it-yourself, making the films on their own and distributing themselves. I mean, that was far in advance of that time, as far as independent film goes. So that is a huge inspiration and kind of neat. If anyone wants to jump in, please let me know if you can actually hear me. It looks like the sound is working. I put this mic on and these headsets on, so it won't look like I'm completely bald. But we do have, as you notice, a lot of bald people in here. Building silicone mask, actually making some masks of my own of creatures. I was going to be sculpting something as I tried to talk, but since I can't really chew gum and walk at the same time, I don't think that would be a good idea. But I was going to try to sculpt something in homage to Paul, and so we got a lot of really cool things to talk about. He's done amazing. He was prolific for the short amount of time that he was doing things. Did the Beast Million Eyes? Beast with a Million Eyes. Day the World Ended. And I remember that movie. I saw that on TV on a Sunday or something, or during a rainy day. I liked that movie a lot. It Conquered the World, Not of This Earth. Uncredited for those two films. It, The Terror from Beyond Space, which we just watched not long ago. Earth versus the Spider, 1958. Teenagers from Outer Space, uncredited, 1958. Now, there's a story behind that, and there's been a documentary in the works for years about that film, and I hope it happens, because I, for one, really want to see it. Oh, do we have questions? Is this where does the questions go? Let's see here. I'm not sure if I'm... Oh, here they are. Is this the Q&A? Is this the chat? All right, group chat. To list all available comments, enter here. Okay. I'm a really horrible typist. Is it just me? No? There's 3 viewers. Is anybody got anything, like any kind of memories, special memories of his work? The she creature stands out for me. It Conquered the World, Voodoo Woman, The Undead, Drag Strip Girl. Now, Drag Strip Girl, isn't that the one where he's in that, right? Isn't he the one that pretends to be a stunt guy doing a creature, and he's scaring the kids? Is that, because I remember that, like, going up to the window of these houses and stuff. Invasion of the Saucermen, Motorcycle Gang. Maybe it was, well, Ghost of Drag Strip Hollow. I get the Drag Strip movies all confused sometimes. But again, I think if you're an artist or somebody working in the field of art, he sort of stands out to you because he's a guy that was doing his own thing. A lot of people talk about how he had difficulty with producers and productions, but I believe it was the case of just there not being enough money and him kind of just being railroaded, by producers wanting, something quick and something fast, and maybe not even necessarily working, and then blaming him for the results when there just wasn't money in the budget for him. Also, another thing is, like, where he would build the suits for himself. He was like one of the guys in the suits. He was a suit guy. He was a monster suit man. And he would build the things for himself, and then sometimes at the last minute the producers would say, all right, you know what, you're not going to play the guy. We got Crash Corrigan, And I wish my friend Craig would come on because he's doing a film on Crash Corrigan, and I bet he has a lot of interesting things to say about how Crash got involved with the Terror from Beyond Space, and had to wear a mask, and possibly, I guess the mask was what was sort of based on uh, Paul's head. So all through the movie, you're watching it and you're thinking, why is this creature sticking his tongue out like all the time? But that's Crash Corrigan's tongue pressing against the inside of the mask, pushing the tongue out. I guess, right? I mean, I'm pretty sure that's what happened. Crash Corrigan didn't want to even be measured for a suit. I heard that he had just, there was just so little money in the budget, I suppose. He just said, okay, here's some overalls that I wear. Build the monster on this, and that's all that Paul had of any kind of measurements or anything like that. So that is a movie that is very influential, to aliens and many things. If you get a chance and you're a Burbank, run by Creature Features, you're going to always find model kits there. Brent Armstrong is a guy who I would say in about, I may be wrong, maybe like 3 weeks or maybe a month or so, he's got an amazing Paul creature model kit in resin. I think it's in 6 pieces, and the sculpture is incredible. It's absolutely a work of art, and I wish he would have. I wish you, I wish anyone would come on. Actually, we were going to, as goofy as it sounds, try to set up the Ouija board and contact Paul and see if he could actually come and join in on this to see if he had anything going on with that. We're losing viewers. I also said losing losers. We're viewing losers. We're losing viewers as fast as possible. Wow. See, the thing is, I don't even know. See, it says you over here. That's supposed to be me, right? Well, where is my image? Where am I? Okay. I don't know. I hope the sound is working. Anybody could let me know. That would be great. Don't be critical. Just say if it's working or not. The sound, you know. Um, if you get a chance, Vincent DeFate has a great article about the strange creature of Topanga Canyon, his life and times. It's on the Tor blog, tor.com. You can just search it. It's really great. We got some images rolling behind from Monsterama of some of his work. It's great stuff to go to images, type in Paul Blaisdell. Is it Blaisdell or Blaisdell? What is it? Blaisdell. Paul Blaisdell? Help from the studio audience, please. You don't know? Paul is what we're going with, because I've heard numerous versions of his name. I always think it's Paul Blaisdell. That can't be right, though, right? Blaisdell? Would you think that's what it is? But the way Bob says it is a different way. And I guess Bob would know, right? Does Bob say it a different way? Blaisdell? It sounds like Mr. Drysdale. Okay, I don't know about that. From Beverly Hillbillies. Um, it's sad. He did some really inventive, creative things, using clay and plaster and paper mache. I think he used paper mache. He would do this one thing where he would sculpt a creature in clay and then paint latex on top of it and build up several layers of latex and then peel it inside out, and then that would be the hand puppet he would use. I'm kind of doing something similar in that right now, building my silicone mask. I haven't worked with silicone before, but I'm going to be doing it in a similar way of just painting silicone on the heads or whatever, and trying to do as much as I can with the silicone on the outside, and then peeling it off and just using that as the mask. And that's something that I thought about, seeing his work. I can't even remember which movie that is, where it's the hand puppet that he's got, where he creates the monster and it's a hand puppet. I have a feeling this might not be working. I don't know. Is this working at all? Can anybody hear me? I have 4 viewers. Anybody, chat, type something in. Are we there? This is gonna suck if it just goes on and I'm just talking to myself. Well, I'll talk to you. Maybe Paul's listening. It is his birthday. He was born on this date in 1927. Um, Seems like a long time ago. Probably wasn't. My mom and dad were born that same year. He was an illustrator. He did a lot of pulp magazines. He did a lot of science fiction magazines. Fort Ackerman was his agent. What are you getting all sexy in the back? It's not a Quentin Tarantino movie. Why are you putting your feet out like that? For Christ's sakes. Anyway, I brought Jessica in because she's an artist as well, and she's my wife. And Paul had Jackie, and Bob had Kathy. So I thought, you know, if you had a wife with you, you could bring her in to watch this. Um, if anybody gets a chance to search the Monsterama special, it's really great. They do get some great stuff. There's Bob talking right now. I wish I could be able to just show you some of these things. Now, they made their own films and they distributed their own films through their magazine, and I believe through the fan clubs as well, uh, so that you could actually buy little slides and little photographs, and you could get that in a package. And that was kind of, the Fantastic Monsters of the Films. That's what the magazine was. And if you have those now, if you have copies of those, I think that's pretty exciting. You got a good deal. I used to have a couple of them. When I was a kid, I had a lot of them. I don't even know if they're available, as an ebook or a PDF, but that would be great to have. And if you have it, send it to me. I mean, who's the victim? Um, Also, I mentioned Creature Features in Burbank. Get a chance to go by there. You can see a lot of great model kits. Brent Armstrong has built one that's coming out in a few weeks. It's really, really cool. He's even got Bob Burns in it. And you can see the She Creature resin kits everywhere. Um, you can go on Etsy. You can find people, out of their homes making their own versions of these creatures and monsters and aliens and selling them, without any kind of permission. But it's obviously an influence of the man, uh, working out of his home, a home that was really neat. It was almost like a tree house. It was in Topanga Canyon. You had to take a rope bridge to get to the house. And in that time period, Topanga Canyon must have been a completely wild place. I would say in the early 50s. That's probably when the bohemian kind of thing started. It's just you have these people that were sort of on the edge, not quite hippies, but kind of beatniks versus hippies. So it's an interesting time in Southern California, especially with Laurel Canyon, with the music scene and all the stuff that's going on. So it'd be interesting to be an artist at that time period. Um, there's I didn't really want to get so much into the personal life of him. I really want to sort of just deal with the work, but it's hard not to, because he put so much of himself into the work. There's a great story of the work he'd do for someone like, say, Roger Corman, and and like the creature Beulah, where it was in the cave, the monster in the cave. Everything looked fine when it was in the cave, but when he went to the theater, he saw that Roger Corman had filmed all these scenes with Beulah, who's only 3 feet, 3.5 or 4 feet tall, out in sunlight, bright sunlight, with who was it, Lee Van Cleef, with a little tiny blowtorch trying to burn its eye out, when it looks like you could just kick it over. And he was devastated when he went to the theater and saw that. I guess people probably were, giggling. I mean, it's still that is still a creepy creature. But I think he felt let down by a lot of the producers and directors that used his work. And if you could find the stuff that him and Bob did on their own, I think you might see something that might be a truer representation of what he could do. Possibly, I don't know. It would be great, but he was so tied up in his work that, and when I think these things happened, I think he just became he was just let down, depressed, and they became reclusive. Now, I don't know if that is necessarily because of the work. I don't know if he became completely reclusive from Bob Burns. It'd be great if someone It'd be great if Bob would be able to come on. There's a recent death of somebody in Hollywood that a lot of our Monster Kid group kind of knew and were aware of. So it's unfortunately happened at the same time. And I don't want to mention the name or date the time, date this with the name, but a lot of people are dealing with that tonight. So we're not probably going to be getting a lot of experts unless you're just listening and trying to figure out. Now, I was telling John Goodwin, the makeup artist. He says, "How do I get on?" This is the first time I've used this, so I don't know. I just told him if you click start or play or whatever, make sure you get your pants on, because sometimes I don't. Today I'm wearing my pants, but if you click it and it just comes on and you're on the screen and you don't have your pants on, well, by all means, go ahead and do it, because this is not going anywhere as it is. I'm losing viewers as we speak. But it'd be interesting to know, like, what was the first film you saw where there was one of Paul's creatures, and what was the effect? Now, if I could imagine if you saw it in your later years, or just maybe just a few years ago, you think, "Oh man, that's goofy." But even with that, there's something about the way his characters are done with such a unique and almost effervescent, if I could say that, quality, that an innocence as well, and also sort of looking to nature as an inspiration, I would think. I mean, you look at some of his creatures; they look like they're in the family of lobsters or crustaceans and things like crabs and things like that. And that I think that is really something to look at. And I think when you do, you can say, "Oh, you know what? Wow, that image really does hold in my head. I do see that scowl. I do see that antenna, and I see the claws, and I think that kind of stuff will stand out, and and has legs and goes further into time that people will look back and say, well, that was a really interesting time. That was an interesting artist." And maybe you would think about, like, well, what is something that you do that you could also find, um, in your own artwork that is similar to Paul's or inspired by Paul's work. And gosh, I'm going to see. I don't think. Am I getting anyone talking to me at all? Let's see. This is pretty so far. Hmm. I'm not getting. I wish somebody would just email me. Just tell me. Just call me up. Can you hear my voice? Is this going anywhere? Let's see. Well, hmm. I don't know. This is the first time I've used Google Hangout. Ah, okay. Somebody sent me something. Let's see what it is. This might be an interesting. All right. Oh, of course, it has nothing to do with this. Why, people, please don't be sending me nude photos when you could be talking about Paul. It's his birthday today, born 1927. Said that. Uh, if you've missed the earlier part of the show, it was fantastic. We had clips and scenes and probably stills that have never before been seen. Um, and Also, if you get a chance, I mentioned this great article that Vincent did. Oh, thank goodness, Mitchell. Thank you, Mitchell, for letting me know that I can be heard. Can anybody join in and ask some questions or offer something? That would be great. I'll give you $1. No, I shouldn't do that, should I? Those people will really do that. All right. Can anybody put on their webcam and join in? All right. The first person that comes on the webcam, on video, to participate in this birthday party, Jessica will pop her top. That's what happens. Oh, wow, look at the viewership goes up just from saying that. How would they even know if they weren't listening when I said it? Anybody? Anyone? Bueller? Anyone? We can hear you, but am I saying anything interesting? No. Gosh, come on, people. I know there's people out there that are artists. Hey, where are you posting the questions? Where should I should be seeing them? I'm in the group chat. Why is it not showing up for me? Are you posting questions on? No, Mitchell. Where are the questions? Oh, is it in the Q&A? Is that where I'm supposed to be? Oh man, what is going on here? We here. Okay. I don't think I've ever seen a Paul Blaisdell. Is that how I'm pronouncing it? Eric Chu, you're an artist. You should be on here. You should get on the webcam and talk what it's like to be an artist and have someone mangle your work. Oh, there's some really cool people. Someone keeps double dog daring me for I don't know for what. Huh? To do what? I have no idea. Uh, what a way to pay tribute than sculpt something while blogging and walking and chewing gum. That is true. Um, wow. Okay, this is like cool. Uh, I did want to. I did want. I got like 1,000 pounds of Sculpey and wed clay and Play-Doh. You want to try to do something? You want to do some while I do some? Okay. Let's here you do that. This is not really. Oh, I sculpted something already. Wow, how fast was that? That little alien face. Um, yeah, I'll get my tools out. Come on. Come on, somebody. I'm sorry. Is this must be. Okay, people are saying they don't see where you can hop on with your webcam. Is that true? Because that completely sucks if that is true. Because I don't want to be by myself. I mean, I know she's here. Okay, so I'm going to start answering some questions that you guys post on the side. Uh, and there are no questions. Well, if you were going to show your friend one of his movies, what would be the first film you would show them? Um, I would, well, I like It, The Terror from Beyond Space. I mean, it's actually a good story. It holds up. Uh, and I like the creature in that. Also, hmm, Invasion of the Saucerman. I love the big-headed alien saucerman, and I still go with that. So that would probably be one film I would show. Also, I would probably first, before any of the films, I would probably get Beast Wishes by Trish. Is it Trish Geiger and Frank Dietz? It's about Bob and Kathy Burns, but there's quite a bit. Isn't there quite? Am I wrong? Isn't there a bunch of stuff in there with Paul? Yeah, and so that would be something I would show somebody because that's one of the to me that's like one of the best documentaries I've ever seen. If you get a chance to see it, you should. Beast Wishes. Um, She Creature. That's a pretty interesting creature in that. Uh, Also, he did a lot of work for a lot of the science fiction magazines and stuff. Bory Ackerman was his agent. Uh, he was L. Ron Hubbard's agent. So I wondered, was there any connection with Paul and Scientology in the early days? Did he illustrate any of the? Did he did he illustrate any of the Scientology lessons or? That was a wild time, wasn't it? Time of Jack Parson. No, he wasn't around that time. But Southern California at that time had some wild cults and interesting, interesting religious stuff going on. Pseudo religions. Psychology was kind of growing, and then you had artists like the Bohemians and surfers. That is a great time period in Southern California for art. You started getting rat rods and kids putting together cars out of junk and making something. You got rat fink. You've got, no, that's more in the 60s, but still in the 50s going into the 60s, you had that transition of things like that where art and car culture and art in magazines, art and film producers for films looking to science fiction articles and science fiction magazines, seeing artists and saying, "Hey, how much are you? Can you design me something?" It happens still today, and the artists are still getting ripped off today. Um, Now this is weird. People, I don't understand. People are just saying they're just. Oh, wait a minute. Are the questions answered? Where? I don't know what you guys are saying. Sometimes you're just saying one word, and it makes. Uh, okay, just some of it makes no sense. Oh, you got that? Check out. You want to get closer to the camera so everyone can see you? Like, or do you think it just holds up better back there? Now, how cool is that? Let's hear it for Jessica. That was fast. That's amazing. She made the Paul Blaisdell scowl. She will sell that on Etsy now. As seen on Google, I would sell that for $1,000. Um, wow. Okay. Wait a minute. Do I have to select these questions? Is that no? Yes. I, Someone just said yes. I think that's from way back when I was asking, can anybody hear me? I don't know. Um, I can't believe Jessica did something like that so fast. This is what I have so far. It's not really anything more than what you know. I was trying to do. I was trying to do something cool. Um, a lot of his creations were simply clay covered with latex, peeled off, used as hand puppets. I don't know how many times he used that. I think it was maybe like once or twice. I'm not sure. Can you see it? Oh, did you put it on? Did you break it? You tried to break it? No. That could be worth something someday. Um, I don't understand how this question thing is working. All right. Okay. Well, I don't know. How long? It's already like 7:38. I've gone. Should we hang on? We have four viewers. Should I give up? What do you think? Was this, I just want to, I know I don't want to do anything. It's not about me. I wanted to try to do something about remembering Paul and his work as an artist. And, the work of an artist in Hollywood in sort of the lower end, but like my favorite Poverty Row. I love the Poverty Row movies. I love the no budget films. I can watch stuff like that today. I thought he was an attractive guy, thin, kind of gaunt. He had a big head. He looked like a scientist. He was like a he carried his glasses in a case in his pocket. Sometimes he had a pocket pen protector. I mean, he was like a nerd before really the nerd term came about. Um, Recently, Rick Baker did this fantastic little tutorial, which I really think is great. That Rick Baker does these little YouTube videos. He did one where I guess he was doing Kathy Burns, but he was using yarn, like red yarn and latex. That just blew my mind. And he was putting it around, making the veins on the eyes. And Paul did that, Invasion of the Saucermen. And sometimes, it would just be chunks of foam. I wonder what he would do now if he had. I wonder what Paul would do now if he had stuff like silicone or. Um, I think he would. I think he's a true artist, And I think he, being a frugal guy, probably would still be doing, things that were just around. He would probably take maybe a can of that styrofoam that you spray, you fill in around stairs and cracks in windows. What is it called? That's expanding foam. I have several friends artists that use that. They build like a wire armature or something. They spray that on there, and it kind of looks neat when it dries. It looks, it's yellowish or orange, and it looks like intestines. But you can go in there and you can carve that. I think he would probably like doing something like that. I would have liked to seen him because he eventually gave up on film and just became a carpenter. I say it just a carpenter, like it's a big deal. He must have put something into it. I can't imagine him just doing a job. Um, but I think working with his imagination and working with what he had at hand is probably something that an artist can look at and say, hey, you know what, I can do that. I mean, I went to an exhibition of who was the guy who was in the Rolling Stones? Ronnie Wood. He had done all these paintings and portraits and stuff made with ketchup and mustard and condiments. And I thought, wow, that's he could afford any kind of paint, but he's just going to use what he had while he was at dinner. Is this anything better here on this? It's kind of still the same, isn't it? I was going to put some veins on it. Didn't have any yarn. Yeah. Well, this is sad if nobody is able to get on. Let's see, how does this work? It just, no. It should be, you should be able to get on here. I don't know. I have no idea. Well, I hope you're enjoying it so far. I was really only going to do this for half an hour, but I can see I'm me. Now, am I back? I think I'm back, right? I think I got cut off. Uh, anyway, I was saying how, the Stan Winston School of Character Arts, Eric and Nat and all those guys, they do these things and they look effortless. Uh, mine looks strained, sad, and depressing. But I'm doing what I can. This is my workshop, by the way. This is some more. I'm doing for a zombie film, micro budget zombie film. You ever heard of it? I Juice Your Brain. Gonna be doing some zombie masks and silicone masks. This is Jessica in the background. If you missed it, she just took her top off for the viewers, and I think that's. Hey, did they cut us off because of that? I have no idea. But she's an artist. She painted she icons of horror. She loves horror. And what's your favorite Paul film? Or It, the Terror from Beyond Space? Yeah, that movie is good. It still holds up, and it's a good story. I like it. I do. And it is scary. Boy, I guess, let me see. Now, what does this mean? I think, now what does that mean? But why is it clicking like that? Why is it doing that? People, I am so sorry if this is just effed up. I am trying to do over here. What? Hmm. Well, you don't have to say it out loud. You could say, look at all the viewers we have, and we weren't even going to go. Now, what happened to the Q&A? Oh, there it is. Now, why am I having difficulty? Currently answering, yes. I don't know. All right, let's see. All right, this is what I got. Uh, I can't tell where the new chats are coming in. All right. Okay, yeah, a lot of people saying, yeah, they can't figure out how to join the video. Now, what's the deal? How can we add people? I mean, shouldn't they be able to just jump on? I don't even know what it looks like from the other end. Well, that sounded rude. Um, Man, what is this? No. Is someone? No. I am so sorry. I wish this. It, I mean, obviously, I look great. So I mean, you should be happy about that. But I don't know where. Hmm. I have to invite you to join the video? Well, now that's crazy. How do I do it? Uh, how do I do it? What is the deal? Well, this is exciting, isn't it? I thought everyone could be on this. Hmm. I was hoping Dr. Scary Puss and William Stout and Brent Armstrong and Eric Chu could be on this. And evidently people are trying. I have no idea. Am I? Hmm. Every once in a while I see the screen shake, like someone's trying to contact me. Do I have to do something? Well, again, if you missed that, are you like what are you doing now? You're pulling. You know what's funny? On the screen it looks like you have your shirt off and your bare shoulder, like wow wow wow. Yeah. Um, well, I'm in the camera department here of the Google Plus, and I don't see any way to bring people in. You know, I watched all the videos too. That was the weird thing. I watched all the videos, and I saw, of course, in the tutorials, no one ever has a problem. Everything works for. Hmm. Well, oh, look at some of the fun. Oh, look how pretty we could have made this. Where I'm the only one in focus. Hey, you're in focus too. Now, if I'd known that, I wouldn't have to worry about cleaning up this messy shop. Um, Okay. See? How do we do that? Hmm. It doesn't appear to be. Huh. This. I'm so sorry, people. I, I'm doing everything. I'm doing everything that it said. Show or hide. Where? I don't know. Was my microphone muted? Oh my God. I don't know. Hmm. You like the bright one? Yeah, we'll go with that. I don't understand why it's. I got the top of the line equipment here. I should be able to talk to you. I should be able to have you on. I thought when you logged on or you just went to the link. Let's see. Uh, I would think. Be the first person. Okay, look at this. I'm trying to do it now. Wow, I can hear myself. That's quite. Is that a completely? Hmm. This is crazy. Okay, people, I am so sorry. It shouldn't be this difficult. Okay, I've looked at the settings and can't find how to join. Yes. Steve Kellner says I can see you fine, but Steve, can you join on just so you can join on, so we can see you. Hmm. Wow. S- Standing ovation for Jessica. So some of them did actually see you undressing. Huh? Hope your mother's not watching. Okay. Okay. What is the deal here? Come on. Yeah, this is us. Okay. That is so bizarre. I was trying to see if I could find a place where if I were trying to go with the event. Hmm. Well, William Stout said, wow, I can't believe I just crushed the sculpture. I was so upset. I killed the creature that I was sculpting, but I've made a beautiful ping pong ball out of out of it. William Stout, the great illustrator, said, I just drew a 10-page tribute of the great to the often great and wonderful goofy art of my favorite drive-in movie creature designer. In my latest Monsters Sketchbook Volume 5 debuting at Comic-Con this Wednesday. Wow, Comic-Con is this Wednesday. I know where I'm not going to be this Wednesday. Um, Dr. Scarypuss says Paul represents the triumph of the artist over all else. He was wonderful. He was a wonderful two-dimensional artist, and when faced with the challenges of making monsters for the movies, he was able to create designs that were totally new to films, and then solved all the technical problems to make them exist in the medium of film. It'd been great to hear those guys. You know, well, Mitchell says they can type in questions. Um, man, I have a lot of people liking this. So some people are watching, and some are. I mean, most are just unable to participate. Uh, well, it's going on an hour now. I've probably totally bored you. Um, I wanted to. I wanted to remember Paul Blaisdell. Paul Blaisdell. I don't know why I mispronounce. I've got some sort of disorder that causes me to mispronounce names. I also got this disorder when I type. I do spell bad, but I'll actually spell another word that has nothing, and I'll spell it correctly, but it has nothing to do, with the thing that's going on in the sentence. But his work has influenced me. I mean, I don't think it's influenced me that I replicate his work, but I am inspired by him as an artist, inspired him and I think there's lessons we can learn. I think when he was probably the happiest is when that brief time that him and Bob were doing Fantastic Monsters of the Films, I think was that the name of the magazine, and they were selling, their own little homemade movies, you know, uh, to an audience through the magazine. And again, a devastating blow when the guy that was printing the magazine, completely ripped them both off, and then supposedly somebody, like possibly the printer, I don't know, um, set the printing set his own company on fire, like arson, so they could get insurance. And it was just too much for Paul and Bob to deal with. I think Bob probably wanted to continue, but I think it had just completely knocked the wind out of Paul, and I can imagine that. I know what that's like, and I think we all do. If we create something, we put our heart and soul into it, and it's not accepted the way we want to make something that we would enjoy, where we are our own audience, and we make something, and it doesn't get the love that we give. You know, um, I guess it all should be about the process of creating and making yourself happy, and then just hope there's someone out there that likes what you do. It's putting your neck out there. It's putting yourself on the line. Every artist does it. I'm not saying an artist, but I think I'm an artist. I don't, my stuff may not be that great, but I do put myself out there, and I think that's what we're meant to do, put ourselves out there. I think we're supposed to stand on the edge, and he certainly stood on the edge of the imagination, creating things. Um, so maybe that's the lesson is, what is the lesson, Jessica? Hollywood will screw you over. That's the lesson. Ah, that can't be the lesson. It's got to be a positive lesson. Uh, he did what he loved. He was happy when he did what he loved, and everybody should do that. You know, I'm a fan of Roger Deacon. They used to do the Amicus, at Earth's core, Land of Time Forgot. No, Land of Time Forgot. What is that? Land of Time Forgot. That's that little animated dinosaur. What is it? Land Before Time? No. Is it Land Before Time? I can't remember. It's the Doug McClure movies. But he also worked on Alien, made the chest burster and that kind of stuff. Someone just sent me a bunch of stuff where how he quit working on Alien because he was getting the runaround by producers. They didn't know what they wanted. And he was used to just creating monsters on his own. He just did his own thing. And and I guess he had a nervous breakdown, supposedly. I don't know. That's what this guy was sending me, this information. But I think that's kind of a similar story. You do something for somebody in Hollywood and you're saying, hey, this is kind of cool. Uh, I can do this. Oh, and then you go like, well, I can make some money. But then guess what? The money that you're getting paid, you have to use as a budget. You have to buy the items, the materials to do what you want. And so that you're not really making any profit. You're not really making a living because you love what you do. So you're using your own money to buy materials to create. And I think a lot of people can look at that and go, "Wow." I just wanted to see what it was like to create a monster in a movie, get my name in the credits, and then you finally go to the theater, to see it with an audience, with a paying audience, and someone has taken your really great work and they've done something silly to it. They've made it and edited it and shot it in such a way that the audience is giggling at your creation. I mean, that's got to be painful to have that lack of control. So I think the happiest moments for Paul probably were when him and Bob and Jackie and Kathy were making um, their own little films, making their own little creatures and that sort of thing, and selling it through the magazine. And to have all that go away as it did would be such a blow to anyone. Um, and it happens today. I have so many friends that get a job in effects and they start a family and they get a big house and then the company moves to Canada or India or something like that. And it's never ending. It goes on. It goes on today with effects. And so while I've been talking about Hollywood, I've sculpted a snake. Not that I'm saying that Hollywood is bad or anything, but look at this. I'm like, you know what? I'm like a balloon man. Look at that. It's a little cobra. Cobra. Or why did I say cobra? That's not right. See, I have a problem mispronouncing things as well. But look at that. Talking about Hollywood, and this came out. And it looks like poop. It's a big, stinky pile of poo. Wish you could see that. It's like white dog poo. But it smells like Crayola. What is this? Model magic? You can't make monsters with model magic. Anyway, it's a stress reliever. Okay, everybody. Well, look, we got the highest number of viewers now. We've done this for how many hours? 12 hours. I can't see anybody asking any more questions or jumping on. I wish I wish there were others here because others got stories, others just got details, others have information that I wish they could. Is that? That's not. I don't know. I wish somebody could explain this to me. I watched all the videos, I went through all the tutorials, and there was nothing that prepared me for the awe and mystery of doing a live broadcast on Google Plus, Google Hangout. Um, what'd be weird is this, after it's over, I'll suddenly, well, it'll be figured out. It's like, oh, you know what? You should have done this. Maybe it's our internet. Maybe it was when you took your top off, it broke the internet. She doesn't usually do that. I just didn't think she was. I just thought if there was a way we could get viewers, we could have Jessica take some garments off. And I mean, it's disrespectful, I would think, to talk about that and do that on a birthday party. But it is a birthday suit for Paul, and we wanted that to be something special. So I hope you got to see it. Maybe it'll be on YouTube unless I'm forced to edit it out, for content reasons. But anyway, hey, I want to thank you all for trying, for watching, for listening. Hopefully, I'm not going to say you learned anything. Um, maybe you did. There were some people that had never ever seen a film of his before. I'm surprised someone that didn't know about him would even jump on and try to watch something, but it's good. Uh, I was telling stuff that I'm sure everybody knows and has heard time and time again. There's a lot going on in the field right now. A lot of people in the Monster Kid universe. There's recent tragedies of some people that have passed away overnight and in the past day. So a lot of the people that were experts and could talk to us. Of course, how would I have been able to get them on? No one seems to be able to get on here. We'll try this again. I won't wait until Paul's next birthday, but we will be doing more of these Google Hangouts because they're so much fun, and I can tell so many people have enjoyed them. So say goodbye to Jessica, and say goodbye, Jessica. She said goodbye, Jessica, and hope you all have a great night, and have a good thought about Paul. Watch one of his movies. Go look at a photograph of one of his creations. Do a Google image search. See what you think. All right. Talk to y'all later, and thanks for playing along. Adios.